Of course, my heater kicks on right as we start this stream. That's the beauty of live streaming. I can't edit that out, so enjoy that. We all enjoyed it together. Hi, welcome to A Moment in Time with Taylor. Eureka, I had a great success. I figured out how to get YouTube Live to work again. They change my stream key every time I need to go live, so apparently I have to do like 10 extra steps, which is okay. I just had to fail forward a little bit on that one, so it's all good. Mark, first come to the broadcast. It is A Moment in Time with Taylor. Welcome to A Moment in Time with Taylor. Hey Craig, hey Josh, hi Kate. Hello, YouTube people. Thank you guys all for watching. I go live every single day, 7 days a week for 3 hours a day on Periscope. I go live with content like this on YouTube at the same time as well, so we're live on both YouTube and Periscope right now. Big shout outs and big thank yous, big ups to all these awesome people that make this channel possible, that have supported me and this channel over the last 30 days. I'm glad you love my book reviews, Mark. Thank you so much. Hey, Rody. So today's book review is on The Happiness Advantage by Shawn Achor. And it's a pretty small book, honestly. It was a quick read. I mean, if you read 10 pages a day, you'd have it done in 3 weeks. If you read more than 10 pages a day, you could have this done easily in 1 day. So Fail Forward is a good name for a driving school. I don't know if I agree with that, but I like it. I like the creativity. Hi, Chip. Why not try it out and see how it goes? Welcome to your first day on Periscope, Row. Okay, so even though it's a short book, I do have a lot to say about it, so get ready. And I highly recommend it. This book I would probably give 5 stars. I haven't done the star rating yet on my Goodreads page, but I will. And if you haven't already, you can sign up for my book reviews at the link in my profile, nextjuice.com. It's totally free, and I send them out 3 times a year. So that's it. You're not going to get like weekly emails from me. Once every 4 months, you'll get an email from me that'll have all the books that I've read with a link to the book and a description of what the book is about, what I thought of the book, my personal opinion, and then you can decide whether you want to get it yourself or listen to it in an audiobook format, or if you're happy just getting the summaries from me, then you don't have to read as many books as I do. I do love to read, so if you have books you want me to read, you can send them to me, you can recommend them to me, and eventually, hopefully, I'll be up here reviewing your book. Hey, Chip. It's all good, Josh. It's all good. Hi, Saul. Okay, so there are 7 principles in this book. 7 principles to the happiness advantage, and principle number 1 is the happiness advantage. Suda. Hi, Suda. Hi. My Goodreads is the same, Next Juice. So if all my links for all my social media is at my website as well. So my Goodreads link is right there, but it's just goodreads.com/nextjuice. You can add me as a friend. Then you'll see all my, as I like put books on my list to be read, as I read books, as I post reviews on there. If you don't want to wait every 4 months, you can get it there. You can get it here on my YouTube channel and on my Periscope channel as well. Hi, Noelle. Okay, so number 1 is the happiness advantage. And even before he gets to the 7 principles of the book, he does a lot of talking and proving. This guy went to Harvard, and he talks a lot about why happiness is important and why positivity is important. And what even is happiness? You know, it's not a universally defined thing for people. Happiness is kind of like a fleeting emotion, right? It's a feeling. Sometimes we feel happy. We don't always feel happy, but we can be viewed as generally happy people and as generally positive people. So I prefer the term positive or positivity, because there are things like gratitude, awe, being in nature and just feeling like, wow, this is beautiful Niagara Falls or the Grand Canyon or something where you're just awestruck or you're looking at the stars. And it's not necessarily like, oh, I'm so happy, I'm so joyful, you know, I'm so perky and like energetic right now. It's like, oh, I'm just feeling really good, feeling really positive. So this is going to have amazing impact on your mental health, of course. That's probably where we realize that the most, where we think, oh, if I'm positive, if I think positively, I'm going to feel better mentally. But you're also going to feel better physically. It actually, just the mind alone can impact the body. It's really powerful and amazing. It's a big part of why I study psychology as a college student. And then third is it's going to help your actual bottom line, your income. Actually, let's give a 4. So your bottom line, your income, your productivity, your ability to be efficient, focused, and productive, and to be creative in your endeavors for income. And then finally, it's also going to help your relationships. So people want to be around people who are positive and happy. It's more attractive. It's much more attractive. If you go into a room, you know, now, yes, like attracts like, birds of a feather flock together. So if you're a super grumpy, cranky kind of person, you always look for the bad in everything, you might be attracted to the people who look kind of pissed off and grumpy, and you want to kind of go over to them. But if you're mentally healthy and you're not super cranky, and hopefully you're already a positive person, and this will just help you to really solidify these things even more and cause an outward ripple effect to the people in your circles, and even way beyond your circles, you're going to be more attracted to the person who has a lot of energy, they're smiling, they seem upbeat. It's just more attractive. When you look for a mate, you typically want somebody who looks happy, not somebody who looks like, oh, this person's going to be a real joy to live around, and I say that sarcastically. So who wants to attract grumpy people to them? Well, that's exactly what you're doing by being grumpy, by being cranky, by looking for the things people are doing wrong, the bad things about everyone else. Even though you might feel like everyone else is the problem, you may not be realizing that you yourself are a big part of this problem. You're certainly not helping by just complaining about all these other things that are going on that are bad. Dutchy, that's good. Hey Mantuki, how are you? One day you may be reviewing my book on my time travel experience. All right, that sounds fun. Failing forward jump school would be very popular for skydiving. Jesus. Hi. Okay, I like to read the comments while we're live here, so bear with me. All right, so he talks about the happiness advantage, the advantages it gives you. I just gave you a really brief rundown. You can read the book. You can look up studies that prove why positivity is important. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on those nitty-gritty things because I'm going to get into a lot of it as we go through this review, but also I not only have read and studied this for the last 10 years. The first book I read about this subject was when I was 19 years old, 10 years ago, and I read a book called Positivity by Barbara Fredrickson, who he refers to in this book several times. And I watched this guy's TED Talk, which is actually what motivated me to get his book. Shawn, he wrote a really awesome TED Talk. It's short. It's like, I think maybe 15 minutes or less. And it's about the happiness advantage as well. So you can watch that if you're not really big into reading or listening to full books. And I'm already sold. I've implemented it into, when I was 19, I was cutting myself. I think I wasn't really contemplating suicide anymore, but from the ages of 13 to 19, I was cutting myself, and there was times where I contemplated suicide and seriously considered and even tried to come up with ideas of ways of how I would kill myself, when I would kill myself. I was definitely in a really dark space. So the fact that I now am the person that I am, I think I'm a very positive person in general. I've put these practices into play and I've seen them work in my own life. So I'm a believer, right? I'm not religious, but if I have faith in something, it's definitely faith in the power of positivity. So hopefully I will convert you to that if you're not already there by the end of this broadcast. Thanks, Kaz. It's all good. That's actually, we'll talk about that actually. It's called post-traumatic growth. So when you go through something that's really hard and you come close to taking your own life, or someone else comes close to taking your life, or you're raped or other traumatic events, you can have post-traumatic stress disorder, right? You can continue down that path, or you can even devolve further, or you can use that crisis as a catalyst for growth. And that's exactly what we can do right now with this pandemic as well, is we can use these things to catalyze us and to push us and catapult us into bigger and better things, and figure out what can we learn from this? How can we grow? What's the meaning here? What's the lesson? And how can we help other people with this too, potentially? I feel like helping other people is a big source of positivity in a lot of people's lives. If you do everything for yourself, it's good to take care of yourself for sure, but if you don't do anything for anyone else, you might start to feel a little bit, you might be wondering why you're not feeling very fulfilled. So if you are feeling that way, think about what you could do for someone else today. Yeah, exactly, Josh. That she doesn't quite know where to draw the line. And he got muted. All right. It happens. Every broadcast, that guy gets muted. Okay. But he keeps coming back, trying again. So cheers on you for failing forward, and just keep trying, never giving up. All right, so what some people might not realize is they say, oh, well, Taylor, it's really easy for you to be happy because you have a great life. You have a lot of success. Well, I do. There's definitely people much more successful than I am in many different areas. I was married before and no longer married to that guy. I don't make as much money as I want to, nor I don't make as much money as I've made in the past. I don't make as much money as other people in the world. And so that's relationship. My health, I'm not the fittest, strongest, healthiest person in the world. So I guess I'm more successful than I was when I was in that dark place, but even when I was in that dark place, I did try to focus on positivity. I didn't realize what's called the Lasada line, which he talked about in this book, which is the 3-to-1 ratio you've heard me talk about before from that book, Positivity. by Barbara Fredrickson, which means you have to have 3 positive experiences for every 1 negative. Because I didn't know that, and I wasn't consciously trying to really keep building my positivity, I wasn't quite over the Lasada line, which is where you start to become a lot more successful and productive. But do you see what I'm saying here? The purpose of bringing this up is that happiness comes before success. I didn't read this book and then boom, I was successful. All of a sudden I was making money and I was happy in love. And no. Furthest thing from the truth. I first started to work on positivity. Okay, well, what can I be grateful for? Can I get out in nature? Can I exercise? Can I meditate? Learning these things, and then success followed. And again, I'm not the most successful person, but I feel very successful. I feel very happy and fulfilled with the life that I've had so far. I'm very optimistic about my future. I feel super lucky, super blessed. We'll talk about feelings of mindset and feeling lucky as well after. I wasn't a cutter as a teenager, but I was self-destructive in other ways. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing that, Chip. I bet a lot of people, does anybody else feel that way? Do you want to share more about how you're self-destructive, Chip, if you want? Fake it till you make it, do stuff that happy people do. In a way, so the fake it till you make it mantra kind of comes from the amazing science that taught us that if we smile, so do it right now. I don't care if you're happy or, I'm not saying anything funny or anything. Just smile. Force a smile. It feels kind of like, okay, it's kind of weird. But what happens is your brain and your body want to be in sync. So when you smile, your brain is like, oh, I'm happy. Okay, well, let me release some happy hormones and chemicals, and you will actually start to feel happier. Maybe doing a silly little forced smile will also make you laugh, which will automatically make you feel better as well. So that actually is a fake it till you make it thing. You can actually start doing positive things before you feel happy, and it will make you feel happy, right? So you will fake it till you make it, and it won't be fake for long. Authentic happiness is better. Authentic, real, genuine smiles are better. Nothing can compete with that, but you can kind of give yourself a little jolt and shake. I call it he calls it in the book a jolt of positivity, which I love and I've been using ever since I started reading the book. But yeah, it's like a jolt. It kind of jolts you out of your funk and brings you back to a positive state. One of my favorite ways to do this is comedy. Humor and comedy. I love to laugh. I love silly movies. I'm not big on movies, but if I'm going to watch a movie, I want it to be a funny movie. I love stand-up comedy. I love funny TikTok videos, funny YouTube videos. I don't care where it is. Most of my friends are pretty funny people. I don't have like a whole lot of super somber friends with no sense of humor. I like to laugh, and it really can jolt me out of, even if I'm feeling kind of crummy. If I don't feel like doing a whole lot, so I feel kind of grumpy, I might go lay on the couch and then watch a stand-up special on Netflix, and that really helps to bring me out of that slump. It's not like you're always going to feel happy. That's when I feel the happiest, so I'm trying to find the means to do that. Wait, what's when you feel the happiest, Kate? I can get past her grumpiness if she's a smoke show. I missed some of these comments. Hi, Danny. How are you? You're downright bubbly. Lesson learned, hopefully. No, I think Dutchie has mental illness. Pretty severe mental illness. So I'm not sure what the future holds for him with being muted in my broadcast, but I think I do know. Hi, Rick. How are you? No ASMR every day? No, I don't do ASMR every day now. Skipping school, I guess, was self-destructive. Okay. Well, F me in the A. I want ASMR tonight after Mario Kart. Well, wow. Well, there you go. Good job saying what you want. Just be prepared to hear no. I'm in the fake phase for now. Interesting. Okay. Easier if you tell us a joke. How do you find Will Smith in the snow? You guys that follow me have heard that joke way too many times. The answer is you look for the Fresh Prince. All right. Chuckles. Hi. How are you? Baby laughs always crack me up. There you go. We'll watch a video of a baby laughing. I love that. So many think I'm helpless and need help, which isn't true. Mindset, Kate. Definitely. I think that you would benefit from reading books and stuff like this. A mindset, so you're like, yeah, I love to help others because it makes me feel good. And they said, because so many think I'm helpless and need help, which isn't true, you're focusing on the bad there. You know what I'm saying? So try not to focus on those things. And we'll get into how your mind is like a spam filter here as well. Shara, thank you for the super hearts. Shara's in my monthly Next Level Mastermind group calls, and we've been talking about jolts of positivity this month, and it was inspired by this book, and now I'm doing my review about it. No to both? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do ASMR tonight, but maybe. Hi, Leah. Do the pants joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Panther. Panther who? Panther what I wear on my legs. I changed my name. It's Charles. Wait, C Web? I'll look for it because Will Smith is so well camouflaged in the snow. What? Hi, Spain. Hola, España. Hello, dick back. How are you? Are those space pants you're wearing? Because your arse is out of this world? That's my pants joke. Or something about a pants party? Did you get invited to the pants party? Oh, did you get invited to the party? It's in my pants. Something like that. Okay. How do you call in? You can't call in when I'm live on my computer because Periscope doesn't allow that, which is not that fun. Alright. Hello, Steven. We're going to focus on the positive. It allows for a much higher resolution video, and I can stream to YouTube at the same time, so that's a good thing. Okay. So, did you guys get the point? Did you get the point of this? Happiness comes before success. So don't say, yeah, well, it's easy for them to be happy because they have a lot to be happy about. No, my dear grasshopper. Instead, it is that they have all these things to be happy about because they were first happy. Because they first implemented positivity, focused on the good, and therefore was able to sift through the not so great and find their little diamonds in the rough. You had a good day until you get home. Until you get home? What do you mean? Today? What happened? Who is Dickback? I'm not sure, but it's fun to say, that's for sure. Dickback, show yourself. They come at the same time. National Tater Tots Day. Again? Wait, wasn't it just National Tater Tots Day like last week? Formal invitation to the ball in my pants. Oh my god. A consultant once told me that happiness is having dreams. Success is making dreams come true. You can be successful even if your dreams don't come true, I think. Yeah. Your success can be, you're successful. There's so many different successes. So the fact that you got out of bed, that's a success. Even if they're like mini successes, there's big successes, right? Like you got your PhD. Okay, that is a pretty big success. There's some things that are harder to make happen than others, but these things are all successes. So I think it's about mindset and looking at them as a success and not thinking that I'm only successful if I reach my dreams. I think that's actually a failure of mindset for them to tell you that you're only successful if you make your dreams come true, because it takes a while to make dreams come true and dreams change. So I'm thinking of dreams as goals, right? So we have goals. Well, sometimes those goals don't go the way we want them to go, and we're not going to reach that goal. We have to change it. So that happens, and it's okay. We're still successful, right? National Mario Kart Day for the Switch at 10 p.m. I don't believe you. I'm not home yet. Truth be told, you're my success. What does that mean? I went to the potty this morning. I know you're complimenting me, but I don't really know what that means. I'm glad that you feel good about me, though. I went to the potty this morning, feel like a winner. Good job. If your poop came out, and you didn't have to, rip your butthole. Okay, that's too much information. Okay. Hi, Steven. Okay. Happiness comes before success. Remember that. You have to first put in the effort towards positivity, then success will almost certainly follow that. I'm your inspiration for what? Wow, I'm popping now. Wait, Chris, are you the one that was talking about how, your wife doesn't want to have sex with you because she says your breath stinks? Hi, Noah, and it's because you think she might be cheating on you or something? I'm thinking of getting a Nintendo Switch so I can participate in this Mario Kart thing. I would love for you to do that because all of my old Mario Kart friends on Nintendo Switch now play Animal Crossing, which is the dumbest game ever. I know that's not the most positive thing to say in this positivity broadcast, but what the heck is up with that game? Mario Kart all the way. All right. Dub said they all suck. Dub knows. Dub's the only one who stayed true and loyal to our Mario Kart roots with me. All right, it's all just jokes, guys. It's all jokes. Another thing you can do that he talks about in this early principle of the happiness advantage, ways to immediately start putting the happiness advantage into play before we even get into the other principles, is meditate. Meditating every single day. It's a huge stress relief. It's a great way to check in with your mental health. It helps your physical health, and it helps everything. It's meditation and the happiness advantage are to me, just very deeply interwoven with each other. It's so important. And I believe it's in this book, he even says, even if it's just 5 minutes a day, just 5 minutes, just sit there, watch your breath, don't do anything else, close your eyes, Remember, you're not a human doing, you're a human being. Allow yourself to just be for 5 minutes of the friggin' day. Stop whipping yourself like a slave to constantly be go, 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 going. It's too much pressure. That doesn't motivate anyone. Chill out, take 5 minutes, take some breaths, see how you feel. Hi, Ben. Is Best Buy even open? Are you doing meditation for me tonight? I don't know, Les, maybe. If breath stinks, do it from behind. It's his breath that stinks, supposedly. These comments, hi Andre, probably not the right time to ask for Family Feud. I don't know, guys. Why don't we focus on the broadcast that's happening right now? And if we stop talking about random other things, we can actually get through this broadcast, and maybe there will be time for other broadcasts tonight. I like to know what you guys want. Remember, I always give priority to people who actually support the channel, because that's what pays the bills. That's what keeps this channel on the air. So if you want something and you don't support the channel financially in any way, maybe now's a good time to do that. Otherwise, just bear with me while I try to run a business and satisfy all 127,000 of you. Because life is on hold, game is simulated life. Not surprised people are attracted to it. Okay, I am. I'm still surprised. All right, Pictionary. Okay, maybe we'll do Pictionary later. We'll see. Next, find something to look forward to. Studies have shown that just thinking about watching your favorite movie puts you into a positive, happy energy, and it makes you more productive, and it gives you energy, and it makes you more willing to reach out to other people, and all these outcomes are like the same for everything that we're talking about. So find something to look forward to, something good in your future. Watching, someone had recommended the Ken Jeong stand-up special on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet. It's something good to look forward to. I'm excited for when my taxes are done. That's actually, to me, something to look forward to. I'm not looking forward to finishing my taxes. I'm almost done. But I am looking forward to it being done. So having something to look forward to is important. And that's like what you were talking about. Someone was talking about their therapist, I think, said something about dreams in the future and having hope. That's really, really important. I think you said happiness is having dreams or something like that. If you're feeling depressed and even potentially suicidal, chances are you're not feeling super hopeful about the future. So try to find something to look forward to that's going to help you to hold on to your life and get you through this rough patch, because I'm living proof that that doesn't have to last forever. Parasite? I want to play Pin the Tail on the Donkey. I'm getting paid to sit home tonight. Really? Interesting. What kind of job is that? Oh, that reminds me. Hang on, I got a weird job offer from my school the other day. And I gotta check to see if I can, if they responded to me. Pardon me while I check my emails. Supply and demand for my essential services. My hope for it. Why don't you make that dream a reality by doing it yourself? Dub. Nope, they didn't respond to me. They're like, no, I was probably too slow. Probably so many kids wanted that job. It was $350 a week to put a Budweiser magnet on your car. I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that any day. I'll put that thing right on my car and I'll advertise Budweiser. Why is this? Why? Why is it saying I have 2 emails? Where are these emails? I see no emails. I don't have 2 emails. Okay, whatever. Close that. Okay, back to work. What to do? We could wander around the Walmart like the olden days. I should be hanging out with my friend tonight, his last day in Florida. No, I'm waiting for midnight. We are going to battle share on the soap industry. I'll do the same. Emails. Excuse me. Okay, Steven. UO2, thank you for the super hearts. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, so next one. Conscious acts of kindness. This is important. We talked about helping other people. It's got to be conscious, okay? This isn't something where you look back on your day and you said, oh yeah, I did this. That was pretty nice. I held that door open for that lady at the gym. Well, okay, that didn't happen lately because we're all in quarantine, but let's just, for example's sake, oh yeah, I did that thing earlier. Oh yeah, I did the dishes. That was pretty nice of me. That was like an act of kindness for my family. Okay, yeah, true. You could be grateful for your things like that, but you want to consciously do it, intentionally do these acts of kindness ahead of time. I clicked on the wrong button here. There we go. So conscious acts of kindness, big way to boost positivity. Infuse positivity into your surroundings. So for example, what's the background on your phone? What's the background image on your computer? If it's like the generic thing that came with the phone. Maybe put a picture of someone that you love, or a picture of something that you want, like a some car that you want someday, or something that makes you happy, something that, some nature photo. I think that's what my background is. Yeah, so here's, I don't know if I want to show you guys my desktop, because no, I can't, because there's some personal stuff on there, but it is, it's basically like a beachscape with these big like cliffs coming up out of the water, and it changes periodically to other naturescapes. So I like that. Hola Argentina! I hold doors for everyone, even if they're too far away, just to make them pick up the pace. Volunteer, there you go, yeah. I'll put a Budweiser tattoo on my forehead for free beer. Oh, who is it? Is it Miller? No, it's Bush. I heard that Bush was giving up to 3 months of free beer for people who foster dogs from the Humane Society during this time. I might not have that exactly right, but I'm pretty sure that's roughly what the news headline was. I put a hot chick that I know and want to bang on my phone. Hey, if it makes you feel good to look at it, put her there. I don't care. Just don't let her see it, because that's going to really creep her out. All right. Yeah, so infuse positivity into your surroundings, things that make you feel good, hang up pictures that make you feel good, plants around, make sure that your area is makes you feel good and calm and positive. Next, we have exercise. That's an obvious one. I know some of you guys are like, screw that, I don't want to exercise. Okay, but just know that exercising will not only help your physical health and your mental health, but it actually boosts your mood and it increases your productivity. Hi, Dylan. Please don't kiss me. Okay. The next one, you might like this one better than exercise. Spend money. Spending money is a good way to boost positivity. However, there's a caveat. Don't spend money on stuff. Okay, so buying things, there's actually a book called Luxury Addicts, or I don't think it's addicts, it's like luxury something. People who spend a lot of money on things. So like, oh, I want a mansion, and I want a car, and I want, I don't know. I don't really like things that much. Just I don't know what things people want. Nice shoes, and outfits, and jewelry. These things actually don't really make you feel happy, but it does make you feel happy that you spend money on? Experiences. Thank you, Chip, so much for the super arts. Thanks for spending your money on this experience. Hopefully it's a good one for you. So going out to eat, that's not really stuff, right? Maybe you go out on a date with somebody, or you go and you see a movie, or you go to a concert, or you go on a trip. These things are experiences, right? Maybe you get some stuff in exchange for them, but it's really for the experience. Experiences are what we look back on our lives and we remember. We remember the experiences of our lives. And these are the things that when you sit around with old friends, oh, remember that time this happened? You guys back then, I mean, personally for me and my friends, like when we talk about like the good old days, not good old days, but like funny things that we remember happening. Oh, that was so fun. Remember we would wake up at 10 in the morning and play beer pong for no reason? We were broke, okay? We didn't have things. We weren't, like, killing it. We weren't killing the game. We weren't successful. Our clothes were, like, from Walmart. I mean, my clothes are still from Walmart. It doesn't matter. Stuff isn't what makes us happy. Experience is what makes us happy, especially with other people, and that goes into Principle 7, which is social investment. So we'll get there at the end. You want another Michael Kors bag? Oh my god, I love spending money. There you go. I just gave you license to spend your money, but not on stuff, only on experiences. Bonsoir. Because you can't take it with you when you go, right? But also, we talk about finance and investing a lot on this channel too. Remember your future too, right? So like my retirement account, I can't touch it for 30 years, but that's something to look forward to. So that ties into positivity as well. I know that I've secured, not completely yet, but I have a security for my future that I can look forward to and feel. And it eases senses of anxiety or stress that may be related to finances. Excuse me. Cesaras, hello. Gifts and stuff gives you so much anxiety. Yeah, I'm a really bad gift giver. If you want to get a gift from me, hopefully not like everyone in this chat because, okay, I'm not made of money, guys, but like my mom, my sister, even Ed, I'm like, can you just make an Amazon wish list, please? And I will go into the wish list and I'll pick the things that on there that are within my budget that I think you would like. And oh my gosh, it is so much better. I don't think, Ed, have you made a wish list?
Kind of.
He says kind of. I think he did. I think he did this past Christmas. But so it's hard sometimes to get people to do it, but it makes life so much easier because I don't have to like message them and be like, what do you want? Please just tell me what you want. This is how I am. Like, I'm not great at coming up with gift ideas for people. I don't want to get them tchotchkes. I don't want to get them something that I would like. I'm not sure if they would like. I don't know what they want. Okay. Don't make me read your mind, please. Just make an Amazon wish list and I will get you things off of that you have put on there because you wanted them, and I will give them to you and you will be happy and I will be happy because I was able to give you something that I know you actually wanted, and you'll be happy because you got something that you wanted and you didn't have to pay anything for it, and we will all be happy in the end. All right. Is that too much? A little bit anxiety. The best days of my life, I had practically nothing. Exactly. Boom. You nailed it. Hey, Scott. Exactly. It's about experience. So if you're going to spend money on experience instead of on stuff. Oh, Ed, one of your top fans says hello.
Who's that?
It's your biggest supporter on your OnlyFans page.
Oh, good.
You know who it is?
No.
Who do you think?
I have no idea.
It's Chip.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. I mean, if someone gives me something and it's something I don't need, it gets donated. Girl, me and you are so much alike. Yeah. I mean, I'll hold on to it for a little while because I'm like, I don't want to like immediately just trash it, you know? But yeah, it's gone soon enough. Soon enough, I'm like, I do not want this. And some people don't like that. Some people are kind of like hoarders. I'm not like that. But anyway, next we have exercise a signature strength. So this is important. It gives us a lot of confidence and pride and just a general boost to our mood when we get to do things that we're good at. We love doing things we're good at. Don't lie. Don't be like, no. I'm very humble. I'm very modest. I don't even like to do things that I'm good at. You're lying. You like to do things that you're good at, and you should, because you're good at it, which means that if you do it, it's getting done the best way that it can get done, right? So, like, let's say, like, for hypothetical, that I'm, like, good at dishes and Ed is not. Well, Ed's going to be happy if I do the dishes, too, because he doesn't do them well. You know, that's just, like, a hypothetical example. It's not necessarily true. It's true. So at work, you know, there could be like something that you're really good at. Don't be afraid to just do it because you're really good at it. Everyone else will benefit from you doing things that you're good at, and it'll make you feel really good too. And hopefully it'll motivate other people to do the things that they're good at. And if you don't really know, like, what am I really good at? There's a website, there's a free online survey you can do to figure out your top signature strengths. And it's called viasurvey.org. I'll put it in the chat on Periscope first. Survey, if I can only spell it, viasurvey.org. There, it's in the chat on Periscope, and I'll put it in the chat on YouTube. Via survey, also still can't spell it, viasurvey.org. There you go. Viasurvey.org. I'm not sure if it's clickable on YouTube, but you can just type that in. It's VIA survey, survey.org. And it's a free online test you can take to figure out what your signature strengths are. And if there's like a certain skill that you wish was one of your strengths, like playing guitar, just start practicing it. And we're going to get into habits in the, in I think the next, I don't know, in one of the future principles that we'll get to. So we talked about the Lasada line. I talked about it a little bit early. The ratio is not exactly 3-to-1. It's actually 2.9013 to 1. So if you have 2.9013 positive experiences for every one negative, you'll be balanced. If you want to tilt things into the positive direction, then you want to have at least 3, right? You want to go above that number. And then if you can have even more, studies have shown that 6 or more positive experiences for every one negative experience is when people do their best, absolute utmost best work. And that's work in and of itself to just constantly be like adding more and more positive things, because the negative things are going to happen, right? You're going to have somebody say something mean, or something bad's going to happen to you, right? You get an offender bender, hopefully not worse than that, but bad things happen. You're going to get sick or whatever. And then you got to, okay, now I got to come up with 6 more positive things for every negative thing to keep myself at my optimum performance. And for you guys out there who are entrepreneurs, employers, if you have contractors, if you have people who work for you, your assistant, whoever it might be, realize, and even in your household, your family, your kids, your spouse, you have to be realizing that if you want this household or this office to work at its best optimum function, then you got to get that positivity ratio up 6-1. You can't rely on anyone else to do it for you. You have to do it. As you model the way that this works and as you do it, other people will learn from it, and hopefully not only will they be impacted by it, but hopefully they'll start to take on some of those features themselves. Because we model and mimic the people that we want to be like. If we say, oh, I really like that this person does this, we're going to start doing it ourselves as well. Hopefully. I recommend you do that anyway. I'm so good at being humble. It's amazing. I play guitar and piano. Not well, though. Not well at all. I don't even play that. I don't even lie about it. Like, I just do not play that piano. I used to play piano really well when I was a kid, so I know that I could play it really well, but I don't. And I don't really care either. I have no desire to be a great piano player. Hey, Junior. Maybe someday, but not right now. All right. And then if you're below that, if you're below the 2.9013 Lasada line, your work, your health, everything drops significantly below that. You're just not very effective. You could be working all day long and barely working, if you get what I'm saying. Like, you're not really putting work in. You're just struggling through, Hi, Junior. Nextjuice.com is my website. You can check it out if you want. The link is in the description. If you click the 3 dots down there and then click my name, you'll see the link, nextjuice.com. The link will take you to my support page, but you can navigate around to my social media. You can sign up for my book reviews emails, where the stuff I'm talking about right now will be in a nice little email so that you don't have to listen to me babble on about each book for like an hour at a time. All right, speaking of which, let's get to principle number 2. Which is the fulcrum and the lever. And the fulcrum and the lever is basically two, it's a visual, right? So a fulcrum and a lever. So the way that leverage works, okay, so here's my fulcrum and here's my lever. Well, if it's like this, I can leverage something this way, but if I move it like this, I can leverage a lot more. Okay, you get the visual here, the fulcrum and the lever. So if you're trying to move your fulcrum to give you the best leverage. Makes sense? Your fulcrum might be right here, and you're like really struggling to lever anything. You can't lift anything with this kind of a fulcrum. You need this big movement, okay? So we're trying to move this way, and we do that mainly through mindset. Mindset is reality. And actually not the reason, but because we're talking about mindset in this book, and I'm so interested in this, and I love to study psychology, our next book that I'm going to start reading tonight is called Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. This book is not that new, and it's how we can learn to fulfill our potential for parenting, business, school, and relationships, which is great because I do all of those things. I'm a student right now, I have stepchildren, I run my own business, and I have relationships, so it's perfect. This is going to be a great book for me. I think it'll be a great book for you guys as well. It's probably like 260 pages or so it'll be a little bit before I finish reading it, but this will be the next book that I read and do a review on, so stay tuned for that. That's called Mindset by Carol Dweck. And she's the one who came up with the concept of growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. So a fixed mindset is someone who doesn't believe anything can change. A growth mindset is someone who believes that things can change. So they look for opportunities. They look for learning opportunities, I guess is another word for it. You look for what you can learn from it. How can you grow from it? You're not just like assuming that nothing will ever change and things will always be the same. If that's how you feel, that's a fixed mindset. If you look at, every failure is an opportunity to do better, that's a growth mindset. And they've actually started teaching this in public schools. My stepsons actually sometimes they come home with these brains, and it's like you color in all the growth mindset phrases, which is like, I love making mistakes because it helps me to learn, and that's like a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is like things will never change, you don't color those in. Hey, Greg. Okay, so they proved that the power of mindset. They took 75-year-old men. This was in 1979. Is that right? Yeah. In 1979, they took, I don't know how many, 75-year-old men, and they asked them for 1 week to pretend it was 1959. They were to wear clothes that they wore in 1959. So they were imagining they were 20 years younger. Okay, so they're back to the young age of 55. They're dressing the way they used to dress. They even gave them picture IDs with their old pictures from 20 years ago. So like they really wanted them to fully immerse themselves. They're not allowed to read any books that came out after 1959. They're not allowed to use any technology or anything. Don't read the news. Everything's supposed to be from 1959 or before. So you're imagining that it's 1959. Listen to the music you listen to in 1959, so on and so forth. And what they found in just 1 week, their eyesight on average improved by 10%. Okay, this is just mindset. This is a pretend, fake it till you make it kind of concept, right? It wasn't 19, they weren't 20 years younger, right? But their eyesight improved by 10%. That's awesome, right, Greg? And they, their memory and their intelligence all improved as well. And then they had people, I don't know who these people were, but they had people look at pictures of them and say, okay, how old do you think the guy is here, and how old do you think he is here? And the pictures were just from the guy on the beginning of the week before the survey or the experiment, and a picture of him at the end of the experiment after 1 week. And on average, after the 1 week, people guesstimated they were about 3 years younger. They looked 3 years younger in 1 week of the experiment. That's massive. That's 1 week of just basically tricking your brain into thinking that you're younger. Your body is like, okay, I'm young. Like, all right, I'm good. I got this. It's fine. I mean, that is huge. That is so huge. And that really proves the power of mindset. So I wanted to share that experiment, which was in this book, with you guys. Another thing about mindset is that think about productivity. So there's a big obsession with productivity in the world today, especially I would say in America. I don't know about other countries. So let's just say for America, in the country I live in, everyone's like, we got to be productive. I read a lot of books about how to be as productive as possible, how to stop procrastinating, how to do more in less time, 4-hour work week. Like, how do we just bang it out and be super productive? Well, remember that there are things that we do that are productive that don't have to do with work and producing a product or labor, where we say, oh, look, I was productive, I got this done. Well, you can also be productive by spending time with your wife or your children or your husband, whatever it is for you. That is productive. That's very productive. Exercise is productive. There's so many things. Spending time reading a book, like, that's productive. Watching something funny on TV or a movie or something is productive because it's helping you to stay in this positivity ratio, the Lasada line, right? The 3-to-1 or higher, and helping you to be more effective and efficient and productive when you are working. So it's important to kind of change your mindset about that too. Don't feel like, oh, I'm being lazy, I'm not being productive, I slept in. Sleeping is productive. Change the way that you view productivity. You are producing good, quantifiable, studies have proven, quantifiable results, health, to your relationships. Anything that helps your relationships also helps your health, mental and physical health, right? Which all also help your ability to generate income, money, and financial security. So all these things are productive, okay? Even spending time doing silly things, going having a beer and watching the game with your friends, productive. Change the mindset. Exactly. Hizo, thank you for the super hearts. Mel Robbins had a great YouTube video on that. Oh, I love her. America for the win. Meditation is a big plus too. Yep, we talked about that one a little while ago. Lots of secrets of the mind. T-Mobile. Hi, Dan. They actually talk about, I didn't write that down. In this book, they talk about how, it's not like T-Mobile, but it's something. Maybe it's Samsung or something, but there's some phone tone, like ringtone. I think of T-Mobile, I think of like the chirp chirp, Boost Mobile or whatever, you know what I'm talking about, like that sound. And they talk about, they did some studies where they ask people, how do you feel when you hear this sound? It's like chirp chirp, and you're like, ugh. Every person that was in this experiment was like, it's bad, I don't like it, it's not a good reaction, I don't like that sound, it's not a good sound. And he was like, but what's interesting is that the vast majority of people have that as their ringtone. Why is that? Because it's the default mode and people just don't change it. Yet it's like that you hear that sound all day, every day, and it's a negative feeling to you. So why wouldn't you change it? Well, we'll get into the 20-second rule a little bit later on. But yeah, if something that is happening in your life that you don't like, why aren't you changing it? Buy IBM stock. It's 1959. I pretend I'm 20 years younger all the time. Yes. That's awesome. You'll look for that too? Okay, yeah. And I'll do a review on it when it's done. Nextjuice.com is a juggernaut. I'm the juggernaut, bitch. I'm watching UFO cover-ups on History Channel. Productive? Yeah, I think so. You're interested in it, right? Interest is actually one of the one of the 10 forms of positivity in Barbara Fredrickson's book, Positivity. Michael, thank you for sharing this out. Appreciate that. How have you been doing? You've been killing it with the steps on Fitbit, I see. I have not been killing it. I'm at 3,000 steps today and it's 5 p.m. All right, but it's all good. I feel good about it. Okay. So we talked about growth and fixed mindset. I'm going to read Carol Dweck, the inventor of that concept. I'm going to read her book next, so that'll be our next book review. Ask yourself, what can I learn? What meaning can I find? So even when things are outside of your control, right? So I said, if you don't like something, why don't you change it? I realize the reality. You can't change everything you don't like, okay? Maybe it's your in-laws. Maybe it's the meetings at work. You're like, this meeting is so pointless. Why am I even sitting here? I already know all this stuff. So when you're sitting in that meeting, instead of just focusing on all the bad things about it, what if you tried focusing on what can I learn? Is this person at least a good speaker? Can I learn good public speaking skills? Can I learn what not to do as a speaker or as a manager or as an attendee? How's everybody's posture? Can I learn, oh, that person has nice posture. Oh, that person looks nice. How's their makeup today? You can learn something from every situation. Capitalize on every experience, figure out what you have to gain and learn from every experience. And again, it's changing that mindset. It's changing the view. It's giving you those rose-tinted glasses. Because it's not about, rose-colored glasses is kind of like everything is great, right? But rose-tinted glasses gives you the idea that you're still seeing the reality, right? Not everything is rosy, but you can try to find the positive even in a crisis like the coronavirus we're dealing with right now, the pandemic. What can we learn? That's why I've been doing a lot of broadcasts about investing. I'm like, a lot of people are home. They don't know what to do. They're stressed about money. So let's look at different companies. Let's see what they're doing. Let's talk numbers. Let's talk retirement. Let's talk about stuff that we still do have control over and stuff that you might have been putting off for a while, right? Now you're home. Now you can think about it and focus on it, learn about it. Why not? It's also something I'm interested in. So it appeals to my interest, productivity portion. That was a lot of P's. Okay, hi Alex, it's good. How are you? It's so good to see you. You're at about 50 steps. That is hilarious. All right, and then this is an interesting one. What you think will be, which is kind of like law of attraction, and trust me, there's no bigger critic of law of attraction than me. I know that what I think won't be 100% in terms of like, if I think I'm going to get $1 million tomorrow, probably not going to happen, right? Just because I thought it would, even if I really believe it. I used to date a guy, it was very short-term dating, and he believed that if he really could truly convince himself that he could walk through a wall, he could, because atoms are made up of mostly nothing, mostly space. And I would theorize that maybe that space, we just can't see what's in that space because a solid structure, I'm pretty convinced, maybe just because I believe this, I cannot walk through it. And he's convinced that the only reason that he can't walk through it is because he believes that he can't. Whatever, dude. I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure you can't, but that's just me. So it is a matter of like, I think that the laws of physics and the reality of the world is still there. However, it's a matter of, so if you, parenting, right? I've seen this with parents. They just assume something's going to go badly, so it does, right? You make it happen. Whatever you believe about it, you do little things that you don't realize. And what you're doing is you're trying to prove yourself right. You're going into something thinking, well, this is going to be bad. And then it is. And that doesn't always happen. I've had situations where I thought, oh, this is going to be super awkward. Oh my God, I'm so anxious. And then it was fine. And I'm like, oh, okay, that was actually no big deal. But I've also had situations, at least I've seen, definitely in situations, I should probably use my own example, but I've seen this situation where it's like, oh, this is going to be difficult. Like, my kid isn't going to want to do this thing that I want them to do. And therefore, like, you go into it being like, oh, hey, like really sarcastic, oh, do you want to do this thing that you hate so much? And then they're like, no, not really. Or you'll say, oh, you always give me such a hard time. You say these things, and then the kid or whoever else, even not kids, you go, oh, I always give you a hard time. Okay, noted. Like, this is the thing that I do. You're teaching me about myself. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So what we believe about our employees or the people that we work with are our customers. Like, how we think that they feel about something is the reality. So if we think that the only reason our employees show up to work is because they get paid, and if they didn't get paid, they wouldn't keep doing the work because it's not meaningful to them, they don't value it, they don't really feel like attached and deeply embedded into their work, and they don't really care about the outcome and what the purpose of the company is, then they will be that way. But if you believe the opposite, where you believe the people that work for you really truly care about this company and its future and helping it to succeed and in its mission and its core values, and the money is a secondary, the money is an after effect, the money is a necessity for bills, but it's not the reason they come to work every day, then you'll actually have a team that's like that. You'll have lower turnover, you'll have better employee satisfaction, you'll have better productivity because people who are more tied in and also more productive and have been around longer, more experience, right? These people are all going to be more productive. Plus, they probably have a better relationship with their superiors, which is actually linked to coronary disease. If you have a bad relationship with your boss, or if you're the boss and you have bad relationships with your employees, that's a 30% increased chance of coronary disease for the subordinate, for the person who's below the manager or superior. A supervisor, I'll say. I don't mean to say like inferior subordinate, these words, it's the vertical couple, right? It's like one person is above, one person is below. It's already a somewhat awkward power structure there between those two people in that relationship. So if you can have as good of a relationship there as possible, that's going to be best. That person's going to want to work hard and do well, and they're going to feel respected and valued, and they're not going to go look for another job the first chance that they get. Really important whether you're the employee or the employer. Okay, let me catch up on these. No lie, a friend of mine tried that using a satanic ritual way back when. It didn't work. He blamed us for not supporting his efforts. Oh, walking through a wall. Hey, Raul. Hey, Jim, random writer advice. I'm doing well. I hope you're well as well. How's everybody in here doing? We're trying to focus on positivity, I hope. At least I am, because of this book. Same thing about the future. So if you think your future is bright and shiny and yet you're so lucky, I'm getting ahead on some of these, but like if you believe that you're lucky, you actually will be more lucky because it's a mindset. So you look for things to prove what you believe. So you're like, see, look how lucky I was. And someone else might look at that and say, that wasn't lucky at all. So here, I'll give you an example. You're in a bank. There's 50 other people in the bank. Some armed robbers come into the bank and you get shot in the arm. Are you lucky or unlucky? I'm not going to sit here and wait for a response, but most people would say that they're unlucky because there's 50 other people there. It didn't have to hit you, and also it could have like not hit anybody. You look at a situation, often most people will say, oh, that's not very lucky. You don't look at getting shot in the arm as a lucky situation, but then you could look at it a lot of other ways. Well, how lucky is that out of everyone else didn't get hurt? It was just me that got hit. It hit my arm. That's okay. I can survive that. At least it didn't hit my head or my heart or my organs. My arm's not too bad. It's like this different perspective. And those people who tend to look at it as lucky, they try to find the silver lining and the good part about what happens. They are more productive. They are more efficient. They have better relationships. They're just more positive. But then I return fire. Future's so bright, gotta wear shades. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Saul. All right, so then we go to the Tetris effect. So this was interesting. They had, I don't know how long it was, but they had these people play Tetris for like 3 days straight or something. This is kind of generally not exactly accurate because I'm not going to open the book and find the exact experiment, but you can look it up. They had people play Tetris a lot. And at the end, they were like, okay, just let us know like what your life is like after this. Well, some portion of the participants couldn't stop seeing Tetris in their life, at least for the next few days. It went away eventually. but they would see buildings, right? So, or what was it? It was like this guy was in his office, and he kept thinking about how the computer screen and the notebook and the pen and everything, how he would turn everything, just so that he could clear rows. And he's like, oh my God, I need to get out of here. So he went outside, and then he's looking at the buildings around him, and the same thing's happening with the buildings. Oh, if I turn this building this way, and it would fit so perfectly, and he just couldn't stop. And then some people were physically seeing objects falling from the sky, Tetris pieces just falling from the sky. They're hallucinating Tetris pieces because they played so much that it just became like part of their life and part of their reality. So what this shows us is that if we do anything a lot, we become much better at it. It becomes natural, second nature. We see it everywhere. It's opportunity. That opportunity for that thing becomes very present, right? Hey, Butternuts, you saw that on Acid once. Interesting. So what this means for us with our psychology and with positivity or negativity is that if you look for the bad in every situation, you'll become really good at that. Your brain, what will happen is whatever you practice, let's say practicing the piano, well, those neurons, those neural pathways where your neurons fire and connect with each other becomes not just stronger, but even larger in a way, right? Surface area larger, right? Like it grows, right? It's like a muscle. It becomes a dominance is a strong word. It becomes an increasingly, dominance probably not the word. It becomes a more toned part of the brain. It can fire much more rapidly, much more easily, and it becomes more efficient. So if you look for all the positive things, all the things to be grateful for, all the areas of opportunity, everything you can learn, all the meaning that you can take away from your life, you'll become really good at that because your brain is like this giant spam filter, and it filters out 99% of the information it receives. 99%. 1 out of every 100 pieces of information that come at you into your brain actually exist to you. That actually stay in your brain and don't get just filtered out into the spam filter, which is awesome, because that means if you just ignore all the BS, it doesn't exist. If all the BS are the things that you choose to bring in and you ignore all the good, then you have a problem, right? Then you're like a generally negative person. So practice looking for the positive, practice looking for the good thing. If you don't believe me, have you guys seen the YouTube video of the people playing basketball? And they say, count how many times the white shirt team passes the basketball to each other. And you're sitting there and you're watching. And then at the end, it's like, okay, what number did you get? And you're like, 12. And then it's like, okay, but did you see the gorilla? And you're like, wait, what now? And you go back and you watch it. It's the same video, right? You just rewind it. You know that's the same video you just watched. And there's a big gorilla, a dude dressed like a gorilla, walks slowly, casually into the basketball game, bangs on his chest, and exits the frame. Nice and casually. He doesn't run in. It's not a quick blink of an eye. A gorilla pops up and it's gone. Subliminal advertising. No, this dude was right there and you didn't see him. I didn't see him. Most people don't see him. Maybe you're like, oh, I saw the gorilla. Maybe you weren't paying that. You didn't care about counting the passes, or you knew it was a trick or something. But out of pretty much everybody who has had that happen, it just shows that selective attention, that what we're focusing on is all that exists. Everything else literally ceases to exist and just does not exist for us, which is also why we can all view the same thing that happened and we all have a different perspective of what happened. No, that's not what happened. No. This is what I saw. Oh, this is what I saw. Well, who's really right? You know, each of you could have a piece of the puzzle, but nobody really has the entire piece. Because our brains are just efficient, right? They don't want to, it's like we can't remember millions of things that we're exposed to every single day, so. So every day, to help you with this practice, write down something good that happened to you that day. So let's see. I had a call with Kate. I thought that was really awesome. I thought that was really cool. She's in here right now. I just got a call with her earlier. I really enjoy that. I love talking about live streaming with people and trying to like motivate people to do a live stream and be like, go do it, you know? I love that. I love trying to help people in that way because I love live streaming, right? So it benefits me too. I'm not like I'm so nice, right? Chip said he woke up. There you go. There's something good that happened today. So if you write down something good that happens each day, it starts forcing you to look for good things that happen throughout your day. And if you don't want to do that, you could do gratitude, something to be grateful for, something you have to be grateful for today. It doesn't have to have happened today. Am I Asperger? I think you mean, do I have Asperger's disease? And no, I do not. And the third option is that you can say something nice to somebody else. So you can compliment somebody, you can do it in a text, you can do it in an email, you can thank them for something. You know, it doesn't have to be a compliment. It could be something, oh, thanks for doing this. It could be, even if it's the tiniest little thing, reaching out to someone like that isn't just going to make you feel good, but it makes them feel good as well. And I've been doing that before reading this book. I've been doing that during this pandemic just because, like, I do this. I encourage you to do this. I've been doing this. It's important. Think of the people that you know that live alone or are single and reach out to them. Just be like, hey, how are you doing? What's up? Like, you know, and even maybe thank them or compliment them on something you know that they've been doing or working on or something, you know, like the other day, Lisa Sansucci was live and she was being so positive. Like, she had a bunch of crap basically happen to her during this pandemic, and her attitude, she was just so positive. She's like, yeah, but you know, what can you do? It's part of the situation that we have. I'm just trying to stay positive, do what I can. And I was like, that's awesome. So I texted her later and I was like, I just want to thank you for being so positive and being like who you are. And I'm sure that made her feel good. It made me feel good to be able to like reach out, and she made me feel good, but then it made me feel good to be like, I noticed that, I saw that, I appreciate that. And then I'm sure it made her feel good too. So it's like this spiral, right? So whether it's writing down something good that happens every day, writing down something to be grateful for each day, or just saying something nice, whether it's a nice email, text, verbally saying it to someone you see in person, noticing something someone does around the office, do that. It's going to help you to look. It's going to help that Tetris effect. Look for the good, right? Look for the Tetris pieces, how they fit together. Look for the good in your life. Going on a doggy walk. Oh, yay. Okay, bye, Chip. She's an angel anyway. Who is? Oh, thank you, Greg. I'm grateful for you, too. Okay, we talked about rose-tinted glasses. Literally. I wrote all that, and now we're getting to this side. A lot of this I already covered, though. So principle number 4 is falling up. And I'll recap the principles at the end. Thank you, Rhodey. Falling up, which is post-traumatic growth. And we did talk about this a little bit. The crisis as the catalyst. We hear a lot about post-traumatic stress disorder, but we don't always hear about post-traumatic growth. When people, I already talked about this earlier, I don't have to say it really again, but when something bad happens, you can use that as a catalyst for growth, a catalyst for doing something good, responding in a way that makes you stronger. What doesn't kill me makes me stronger. That kind of an attitude. Okay, don't let the crap in the world take you down or bring you down. Just become stronger for it. You know, wear it like a badge of honor. Things don't always happen for the best, but we can make the best out of what happens. All right, things don't always happen for the best, but we can make the best out of whatever happens. Be proud of your failures and mistakes because you weren't afraid to try them and fail. You weren't afraid of failure. You weren't afraid of trying something new. You weren't afraid of being outside of the box. You weren't afraid of being labeled as weird or unusual or abnormal or anything. You went for it. You failed. Be proud of that because now you learned. Oh my God, I just got a weird pain in my stomach. Oh my God, what just happened? Whew. Sorry guys. Oh my God, you just said legs sexy. And you don't even see my legs. Ooh, what's going on? I gotta eat some Metamucil today. Oh my God. What was that? Sorry. Okay, moving right along. Okay, that was unexpected and we're gonna move on from it now. Avoid learned helplessness. My appendix, no, it's like right here. It's probably... Alright, you can't see what I'm pointing at, but it's like right in my center of my lower stomach. It's my duodenum. I don't know. Alright, duodenum? How do you say that? Anyway, avoid learned helplessness. Learned helplessness is where you have accepted the reality that there's nothing you can do. You are helpless. Your locus of control is external, which means you have no control over anything that happens, and there's nothing you can do. That's learned helplessness. And you can learn that over time as a child. You can learn it as an adult. It's a really, really dangerous thing to buy into because it's not true. You are not helpless. You do have control over something. You don't have control over everything. You don't have control over other people, but you do have control over yourself, mostly, and you have control over something in your life. So bringing that locus of control internally, so an internal locus of control, feeling like I do have control over this, I have the power to control my future, my outcomes, and I am not helpless. It was the ghost pepper fighting back. It was a Carolina Reaper pepper, and that was 3 days ago. I do kind of feel like I have to go to the bathroom right now. We're going to try to focus. We're going to engage the sphincter, and we're going to focus. So it's also, so this goes into mindset as well. I felt like this principle, this following up principle, was the worst organized out of all of them. It was kind of like not really all related to following up, in my opinion, but I guess it is. So this is mindset, though. So you have two people, right? They both go, they're shoe salesmen, and they both go to a country or let's say a village in Africa, where they get there and they're trying to figure out, okay, is there a market here for selling shoes? And the first salesman reports back to headquarters, really bad news, these people don't even wear shoes. The second salesman reports back to headquarters and says, great opportunity, they don't even have any shoes yet. Basically, there's a blue sky market, there's no competition, we're going to dominate this. Two people that had the same experience with the same job have two different outcomes, two different takeaways from it. I know this is like very unprofessional in the beauty of live streaming, but I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick, and then I'm going to come back, because there's a lot more that I want to say, and there's no way I'm going to get through it without peeing my pants. Alright, I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll run. Much better. Okay. We're here. We're back. Okay. Oof. That heater feels nice. All right. Where were we? Okay. we already talked about the 50 people in a bank, law of attraction, if you're lucky or unlucky. If you start to view yourself as lucky, this is going to help you to find the path up so that you're falling up. So when you have failures, when you have a pandemic, when you have a crisis like what we're dealing with right now, you try to find how am I going to be made stronger and better, and even, how am I going to be even higher than I was before this happened, higher than I was even before this happened. Okay. Number 5 is the Zorro effect, or the Zorro circle. So I've never seen this, but apparently Zorro, when he was learning to be Zorro, he had to learn how to master his craft of his swordsmanship. And what he had to do was do his sword work within a certain circle. He had to stay within a certain circle. I don't know if that's exactly the story or not, but something like that. And this is our concept of the circles of control that we have. So we have to start small. So for example, if you're like, I need to clean my house, that can be overwhelming. Like, I have to clean the whole house. So instead you start with one circle. So maybe it's just like a circle on your desk. Let's just clean off this one circle of the desk, and then protect that circle and make sure that nothing gets into it for the next day or 2 days. And that's going to make you feel accomplished. You're going to say, okay, that feels good. Now you know that you can do one more circle, and you can expand your circle a little bit wider. And you can do a circle over here and a circle over here. So you're staying within that circle of competence, and you're also realizing that that will grow over time. And once you accomplish something small, you can do more and more. So it's like you can't sprint your way to a marathon. Hi, Sodom. Did I say hi? You can't just you can't just be like, I'm going to do a marathon tomorrow and then go. You have to train, and it's going to take time. You have to be patient with yourself and be okay with the delayed gratification. Realize that not everything is instant gratification. Instant gratification can be real nice, but it's not the way of the world, and it's not the way of the most successful people either. Hey, Steven, I'm good. How are you? Where are you from? Yes, I am American. So the internal locus of control, which is linked to success. You do have a dueling brain, so the chimp paradox, which is a book that I think I sent to Sonam, which is this concept of you have your rational thinking brain, and then you have the chimp part of your brain, or the reptilian part of your brain. In this book, he calls it the jerk. You have the thinker and the jerk, and that part of your brain is like the emotional part of your brain. And the emotional, reactive part of your brain can sometimes hijack the logical, reasonable thinking part of your brain. So a good way to overcome this is to verbally say or write down how you're feeling, because people who you're basically increasing your self-awareness. So the people who can best identify how they're feeling and express it verbally are the quickest to recover from emotional hijacking of your own brain. So if you have good self-awareness and you realize, okay, I'm feeling kind of upset right now, I need to step away, I need to take some time before I react. So think first and then react. So if you can increase your self-awareness, which comes a lot through meditation and through just studying and practicing, maybe journaling, writing down how you feel, talking to a therapist about how you feel, start to learn more about yourself, because then you'll start to identify when you're, okay, I'm feeling kind of emotional about this. Let me take some time. Let me get some space. Let me change up the energy, get a jolt of positivity before I deal with the problem at hand. So a way that we do this in my household is family meetings. So when there's a problem, all we do is we write it on the agenda for the next family meeting, which is just a little notebook. And then every week or so, once or twice a week, we have a family meeting. And the kids even ask me, when's the next family meeting? Like, they like it. I don't know. I wasn't expecting that, right? I was kind of thinking, they're going to think, this is annoying with family meetings, but they love it. And what we do is we go down the list of problems, if there are any. There isn't always new problems every single week. Hi, Erin. How are you? Merhaba. And we come up with ways that we can solve these problems together as a family. And at this point, I ask the kids, or, the family, but really it's for the kids primarily. It helps the adults too, though, a lot, is what are the 2 purposes of a family meeting? And they now say it to me very quickly. They have it memorized. They love it. They love to show off that they know the purpose of a family meeting. It's to help each other and to solve problems. help each other and solve problems. So at first, before we go down the problems, we all have to compliment somebody at the table. Everyone has to say a compliment. It's a rule, right? We have to do it. And at first, the kids really struggled with this, but now they're so much better at it. And it really, like, when someone says, like, oh, thank you for this, or, you know, you're so good at this, it really helps. And me and my boyfriend Ed have to do it too. And a lot of times we compliment each other. And it's so nice to... they're seven. So it's so nice to, like, hear that something they are grateful for from you. So you can do gratitude or compliments. We're getting into parenting a little bit here, but that works really well. Then you go down the problems. And remember, the point is to solve the problems and help each other. So you're asking things like, why are twins. So you're asking things like, why are these things a problem, right? Why might this be a problem? Well, because I can't sleep at night when he comes into my room, or, you know, that's like one of our problems we're dealing with right now. Or that's a problem because then, you know, I broke something that wasn't mine, or because then we're all upset, we end up having to go to our rooms, you know, whatever the situation is. Okay, so then how can we solve these problems? And we come up with a list of ideas, and then we all come up with a consensus on what solution we think is best. And we try to let the kids lead this, because if the kids come up with the solution themselves, they're much more likely to do it and stick with it because it was their idea, right? They take ownership of it, rather than as a parent just always telling people what to do. It gives that locus of control, that internal locus of control, to your children as well. And this helps to keep you from reacting in the moment, right? So you're like, okay, we have a problem. We're going to put it on the family meeting agenda. So we're not going to deal with it right now at this very moment. We're going to wait till the family meeting, when at that point we've all cooled off. We're not all wound up and angry and emotional. This happened the other day. Ed found out about something that happened at their mom's house, and he was upset. I could tell he was upset. And I said, well, why don't we put it on the agenda for the family meeting? And he was like, yeah, definitely. We're definitely putting that on there. And then he's like, you know, we need to solve this problem. He was like, still going on. I was like, well, why don't we we can fix it at the family meeting. We can come up with ideas and solutions at the family meeting. Because I could tell he was upset by what had happened. So instead of dealing with it right then when he was upset, by the time the family meeting came around, it had already been fixed. They had already, basically, they like knocked a chair over into her wall and damaged the wall, and neither one of them was admitting like how it happened or who did it or whatever. So by the time the family meeting actually came around, the wall was already repaired. The kid actually repaired it himself. It was all good, and everybody was fine. And you know, accidents happen. You know, the one kid oh my God, I think it was me that knocked. It was when I knocked the chair over. Oh my gosh, yeah. And it was like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, and then their mom was like, it's okay. Accidents happen. It's all fine. You know, he fixed it. Everything's good. So. When you're not just trying to react right in the moment, because the other thing that happened was that Ed was pretty convinced that it was the other child, and it wasn't. And it was like, he was really like, oh, well, if I find out that it was you, you know, and it was like, the kid's like, it wasn't me. And then it turns out it really wasn't him. So it's like, emotion doesn't usually solve problems well, pretty much never. So it's better to take a step back. Let's say, okay, we're gonna readdress this problem. Then I actually had an issue with my ex where we had a disagreement about where we wanted to live, and we were fighting about it kind of a lot at one point. And at one point I said, okay, you know what, how long, because he wanted to live in New York where we lived, and I wanted to move south. So we weren't making any headway in either direction. Well, actually, he was obviously winning because we were living in New York, but so I said, okay, when do you think would be a reasonable time for us to move south? Because he said he was open to it, but when? He said, well, you know, if we haven't done it in a year, then you know, there's some problem. So I said, okay, I'm not going to bring this up again for a year. And I didn't. And I put it in my calendar, and I said, 1 year from now, I'm going to bring this up. That's my warning, okay? That if we're still in New York in 1 year, I'm going to bring it up, I'm going to be upset, but I'm not going to fight with you about it for the next year. If you think, okay, 1 more year in New York and that's fine, I can concede that point. 1 year later, we were still in New York, I'm no longer with him, okay, here we are. But it was better than just constantly this emotion, just fighting with no solution. So it's better to put things off when you're not so upset about them, you know, let that emotion die and prioritize your relationship with whoever it is that you're having these emotions with, over being right or proving that you're right or getting the reaction that you want. You know, remember, they have feelings too, right? What they want matters too. You're not the only person that matters. Hi, Travis. How are you? The kid just went to Home Depot. Ed helped him. Hi, Asha. All right. We talked about how verbal information immediately diminishes the negative effects of of that emotional hijacking. So make sure you can put it into words. You can write it down. You can say it, express it. Yeah, I'm well too. Hey, DMV dude, how are you? We talked about how you can't sprint your way. Okay, so we have 2 principles left. The 6th principle is the 20-second rule. This is huge. This is connected to availability bias, which we've talked about on this channel before. The 20-second rule. It is amazing. If something takes you 20 seconds, you don't want to do it. If something takes you less than 20 seconds, you're more likely to do it. So it's like this trade-off. For example, you come home from work. This is what you want to do. In the morning, you're like, when I come home from work, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to come home, I'm going to change, I'm going to go to the gym. When you come home from work, what do? You watch TV, right? Not always, right? Not everybody makes these choices, but what's easier? What's the path of least resistance, especially when we're tired and our willpower has been worn down? Watching TV. You want to know why? Because picking up the remote and pushing power takes less than 20 seconds. It's literally right there. You just grab it, you sit down. It's like no effort required. To go into your closet, to pick out gym clothes, to change out of your current clothes into your gym clothes and put your shoes on takes longer than 20 seconds, so you just don't want to do it. It just seems like way too much, even though it's not. Even though 20 seconds is like nothing at all. If you can use this 20-second rule, you can change your life. So make your good habits less than 20 seconds. Make them easy. If you want to work out in the morning, sleep in your gym clothes. So have your sneakers right there next to the bed before you go to bed. Then when you wake up, you're already in your gym clothes. The sneakers are right there. All you have to do is put the sneakers on and sleepwalk out to the gym. If you want to exercise, put your treadmill near where you usually are. Don't have your treadmill down in the basement where you never go. You're not going to go down there. It's 20 seconds away. You're not doing it. It's not happening. And then make your bad habits 20 seconds harder to do. So take the batteries out of your remote for the TV and put them in the drawer in your bedroom. Now you have to go up the stairs, you gotta go to your bedroom, you gotta get the batteries out, you gotta come downstairs, you gotta put them in the remote, you gotta turn the TV on. You might, but you also might be like, oh, screw that, I'm not doing that. And you'll remember too, why did I do this? Because I wanted to do something else instead. I wanted to read a book, or I wanted to spend time with my family, or I wanted to try some different something. I wanted to practice my guitar playing or my piano or something like that. There's a reason I don't ever play this, because the only time I'm down in this room typically is if I'm live. Sometimes if I'm doing some work on my computer, but this is a laptop and I can bring it upstairs really easily, and I tend to, and I do a lot of work upstairs as well. I'm never just hanging out in this room, so this piano never gets touched. I like the way it looks in the background of my broadcast, so I don't mind leaving it there, but if it was up in the living room, it would get used a lot more by everyone in our family. Hey Samson, thank you so much. The video is small like a recording, but I know it's not. What do you mean small? Oh, turn your phone. What do you mean small? Turn your phone sideways. You're watching in portrait mode when you should be watching in landscape. How's that line? Did that fix it for you? Hello, Marcos and Mandy. Prankster. Ooh, pranks can be fun. That could be a fun way to bring positivity out in the day. And then junk food, right? So this is why meal prep is so popular. If you get your meal fixed, there we go. Yeah, if you get your meals prepared ahead of time, then you don't have to cook your whole meal and make it, which takes longer than 20 seconds. All you have to do is take it out of the fridge and warm it up. Maybe it's 20 seconds, but it's still a lot easier than it would be if you had to cook the whole meal. And then put your junk food somewhere, put it in 15 Ziploc baggies. So as you're opening each Ziploc baggie, you're going, oh, damn, there's a reason I put this in 20 Ziploc baggies, because I really didn't want to eat these. It's causing you to think about your choices. You can't just be like, well, I'll just eat the cookie. You're like, oh, okay. Or it's hidden, it's all in all these boxes and drawers or whatever. Make it harder for the bad habits and make it easier. Obviously, don't even buy the cookies, because then you have to go to the store and get them, and that's way too much work. So I'm just not going to do it. That to me is huge. My last relationship, we never had junk food in the house, so I ate very, very little junk food, pretty much none. This house, we have junk food in the house, and I eat it every single day. Continuing ed classes online, nice. Is anyone doing anything productive? Yeah, absolutely. I'm still live streaming full-time and running my business full-time. I've been working on my taxes. I finished reading this book, and now I'm doing a book review about it. I'm about to start another book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. I've been connecting with a lot of friends and family in ways that I hadn't been before, checking in with people that I love, checking in with people who live alone or who are single, checking in, doing like Zoom meetings with my family, doing free Skype calls with people who want to start their own live streaming channels. Yeah, I mean, it's a great time to be productive for sure. And like I said earlier, I've been sleeping in. I've been trying to make sure that my health is good as well. That is productive. I've been spending time with my family. That is productive as well. So there are things that are productive, even if they aren't related to like work, you know? Brilliantly handling time. I hope so. I hope you are as well, Samson. Yeah. Time management is really, really helpful. So when I mentioned willpower, they've learned that actually every choice you have to make throughout the day it takes your willpower a little bit. So if you wake up in the morning and you have to choose what you're going to wear and what car you're going to take, maybe you share, cars with your spouse, and what you're going to do first, in what order, like what your task list, the more choices you have to make throughout the day, the more tired you are and lack of willpower you'll have at the end of the day. That's why people like Steve Jobs, I know he's no longer alive, but I think Mark Zuckerberg does it as well. They wear the same outfit every day because they don't have to choose. It's like, I wear this shirt and these pants every day. Like, they have like 50 of the same shirt and 50 of the same pants. They just wear those. 50 is probably an exaggeration, but that's it. They have the same thing they wear every day. They don't have to think about it. They have more willpower now throughout the day because they didn't have to make that choice. If you planned your lunch and your breakfast and your dinner and your workouts, right? So you don't have to decide what workout you're going to do. You already have it all planned out ahead of time. You don't have to make any choices. You just do it. And this is so powerful. I love planning my days out like this. I like to especially do it the day before. So the night before I go to bed, I like to write down all the things that I have to do the next day and then prioritize it in the order that's most important and do the most important things first. And I literally number them like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, this is the order I'm going to do these things in. And then the next day, I don't even have to think about anything. I just look at my list and I say, okay, number 1, do this. And I do it. I don't do that as often as I used to and as often as I should, but it definitely makes, you don't have to worry about willpower, right? You just go down your list. And there are theories that say that if you do at least the most important thing, one important thing, especially the most important thing every single day, you'll be significantly more successful than the vast majority of people. They wear the same clothes. I don't even change. You don't take showers? Hey, Brian. Because we're bundles of habits. That's what William James found out as, I think, an 18th century psychologist way before his time, that we are habitual creatures. Whatever we did yesterday, we're going to do it again today. So we can change our habits by using this 20-second rule. There's another book, Atomic Habits, that I really want to read. It's on my Amazon wish list. I haven't gotten it yet, but I have a lot of other books I want to read too, so we'll see about that. Daily effort will strengthen that part of your brain. Remember, just like we've been talking about, the more you do it, the easier it becomes to do it, the more efficient and effective you are at doing it. Plus, you become better at it, so then it becomes a strength, and then doing something that you're good at makes you feel good, like a musical instrument. At first, it's hard. You don't know how to do it, and you have to work on it every day. You have to practice, and it sucks, and it's like, I suck at this. I'm not good at it. My music sounds terrible. But then, like, maybe after even a week or a couple weeks, definitely after a month, you're like, actually, okay, I can play a couple songs here. I'm getting better at this. And then, a year from now, you're like a pretty decent musician if you were doing it every single day. And then it becomes something that you're pretty good at. And then you're proud of it and you kind of show it off. It's like, all right, yeah. And then you want to do it because now it's already become a daily habit. Once every 2 days? We mean like every other day? So it's important even when you're in quarantine to establish a routine. So this is good for our mental health, is to stay in a routine. Still get out of bed, take your shower, get dressed, do something. Don't, this isn't a vacation, right? This is a global health pandemic. This isn't a time where we're all just supposed to be like, screw it, like the world's ending, it's an apocalypse, let's just give up on all of our goals and accomplishments. Not at all. It's not a repeat bill, You have to shower every day. Well, whatever, however often you guys want to shower, this is not my business. But just make sure that there is a routine, right? Don't just stay in your pajamas all day. Maybe on the weekends, right? Because on the weekends you normally can, if you work like a weekly job. I work every single day, 7 days a week, and I love it. I love what I do. I have so much energy for it that it doesn't even bother me. We're all gonna die. Well, we're all gonna die eventually, obviously. We already knew that. That's the human condition. Okay, so the last principle is social investment. And it's possibly one of the most important. One of the longest term longitudinal studies, which was done by Harvard, was of, I forget how many people, it was a large number of people, and it continues on to this day. They found that the number one indicator of people's happiness and length of life, literally how long you live, was whether or not they had a loved one who they felt like had their back and they had theirs. It doesn't matter if this is a long-term married couple and they bicker all day, every day. If they truly believe this person has their back and they know that they have their back, that actually makes them live longer. It makes their memory better. It makes them feel happier. They can tolerate pain better. They're more resilient. So the lesson here, literally, is make time for loved ones, social connections, and relationships, or die. Oh, I don't have time. I'm too busy. I don't have time to date. I don't have time to, you don't have to date. It doesn't have to be a romantic partner, right? It can be a friend. It could be a family member. But make time for this. Make time for this, or die younger than you need to and have worse memory and have experienced more pain. I mean, this is a no-brainer. This is absolutely of the utmost importance. And even short interactions with somebody who you have a high quality connection with can release oxytocin in your hormone, the hormone oxytocin into your bloodstream and into your brain, which makes you feel bonded, which gives you that feeling, gives you that resilience that you experience when you have loved connections. So if you guys like football, think of it like this. You're the quarterback, and your social group, your social network, your loved ones are your offensive line. And they're there to protect you from getting sacked from all this crap and the distractions and that try to come at you. You're trying to make your move. You're trying to make the best play that you can make. You need protection so that you can have the space that you need to do your best, right? Some of the best quarterbacks they just have the best offensive lines, right? They have more time, they have a few more seconds to decide what they're going to do with the ball, and they can make better decisions with that time. Same thing with you. If you have a strong offensive line, meaning you're a strong social group, of a support group, right? Then you're going to be able to live the best life that you can live. Plus, it's going to probably result in you being a really strong offensive line person for the quarterbacks that are in your life, right? Because everyone's the quarterback of their own life. So we all need that offensive line. All of your family and friends are dead. What about me? You can make new friends. I don't want to hear that BS excuse, Billy. People living alone are screwed. Absolutely not. You can still have strong social connections where you have someone's back and they have yours. If you refuse to make new friends and meet new people, then yeah, you kind of are screwed. But that's your choice. You make that choice, and you can make it every day, or you can change it right now, right here. You can go online, you can go to meetup.com, find a local meetup group who's probably not meeting personally right now, but they're going to do Zoom meetings. You can get involved in support groups. You can do virtual, like hangouts with people. You can definitely still meet people. There's billions of people in the world to meet. Thank you, Travis. You too. I'll continue my continuing ed classes just in case. What do you mean just in case? Just in case what? Like just in case the world goes on? I'm pretty sure the world's going to go on. What the heck? What's anonymous? Anonymous means someone who doesn't want to share their name. You could be dead soon if you catch the virus. The chances of that happening are extremely low. Patrick, for me, right, because I'm 29, I'm very healthy. So even if I got the virus, the chances of me dying are very low. It's possible, but I could also go for a drive to go pick up, like yesterday I had to go pick up my acne medication at the pharmacy, and I was driving and I could have gotten hit. I'm much more likely to have gotten hit by a car and died that way, but I didn't, right? So here we stay. Let's not assume we're all just going to die. Patrick Mahomes from the Texas Tech compliments his offensive line all the time. Exactly. Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Flat Earth meetups. I don't care. You don't get diseases on virtual meetups, Billy. You're not staying away from me. You're here right now. Confirmation bias. Yep, we talked about that a lot, Remies. Thank you, Samson. Okay. So we talked about the Harvard study. Remember that social connections are a major source of stress relief. So if you're feeling stressed out, your instinct might be to go within, to get away from other people. I don't have time. I have so much work to do. I don't have time to meet up with people after work. I don't have time to talk to my wife after work. I just have to work and work and work and work. And you will literally just kill yourself that way. Like, you're not getting a lot of work done because you're stressed out. So you know what you're doing? You're like checking the stock market like 5 times an hour, and you're checking the news headlines. You're getting obsessed with like, oh my God, another person died of coronavirus. And you're just like, that's not work, right? You're distracting yourself. You're spending a very small portion of your time. You're working all day. You're spending a very small portion of your time actually working and actually doing the work that needs to be done for your work. So this is another good thing with the 20 seconds. Bury the distractions, right? So hide your email notifications, put your email down, only check your email once an hour. Don't allow every single email that pops up, every text that pops up on your phone, put your do not disturb on. Don't be responding, don't let other people control the things that you're going to do when you're going to do them, all right? You decide. Unless you're an emergency responder, right, if you're on call, if you're a physician or something like that, and you have to have your phone on. I have had my phone on silent for years now, ever since I read 4-Hour Workweek, because nobody needs me in an emergency. Nobody's like, oh my God, I'm gonna die, you need to be here, you know. A ball just rolled into my backyard. Where did that come from? Nobody is retrieving it. What is that? Sorry, I got distracted. No! Let's close the blinds. I can't. It's actually my source of light right now. Oh, there's a kid. Hello, kid. Aw, that's cute. What was I saying about distractions? As much as you can, try to remove distractions. So actually, you probably just heard my boyfriend and one of the kids come home. Well, I'm in my studio, right? So this is an insulation from distractions. This is a good place to meditate. Going into the bathroom can be a good place to kind of like hunker down and get some reading done or something. You know, try to eliminate distractions as much as you can, but also remember that spending time with your loved ones is extraordinarily important and very productive. As business owner, this not economy to even think of a raise. Presents and compliments are crawling on your knees. What's the best way to ask your boss for a raise? You can think about asking your boss for a raise right now. Are you kidding me? Come on, don't say, in this economy, you can't even think about a raise. No, chances are you might not get a raise right now, but you can still think about asking your boss for a raise. So personally, the best way that I always got raises, every time I did this, I got a raise, is to write down a proposal. So you basically write down how much you like the job, how much you like the company that you work for, right? Maybe suck up a little bit, especially if it's true, only if it's true, really. And then talk about the things that you've done, the accomplishments that you have achieved as an employee there, and why you think that you deserve more money for what you do. And then during like your annual review or something like that, or you can even ask your boss to have a meeting and sit down and have a talk. And then you have the proposal. I would suggest giving them the proposal ahead of time so they're prepared. They might be prepared with a rebuttal, but you don't want to spring it on them. You're never going to spring it on them and they're like, yeah, you should get a raise, right? I never had that happen. I emailed them my proposal ahead of time. So let me know when we can sit down and talk about this. We'd sit down and talk about it. I never got the level of raise that I asked for, but I always got at least $1 bump in my pay. And I wasn't getting paid a whole lot, right? I went from 12 to 13 to 14, and then I think I got bumps in commission percentages after that. But it was, hey, more money is more money, right? Might as well ask. Right now might not be the best time to ask, but you can write the proposal now and prepare it and tweak it when you're actually ready to do it. I am in a relationship with a guy with kids. I get 10% on hourly wage because of Corona. A 10% rage. Nice, doctor. He'd be the one to get laid off first. No raise, sir. I disagree. That's a very negative outlook to have, Samson. What did you spend it on? Candy bars? No. Okay. Okay, so the one last story that I'll use to bring home the point of the importance of social connections. You're a firefighter. You haven't passed your test yet. Okay, you're a firefighter trainee. You're learning to become a firefighter. And you're at your last test. And the firemen that are already there, they say, okay, listen, you're going to be safe. We're going to be here if you guys need us. But here's the final test. We have this old shed not a shed, let's say like this old house, and it's on fire. We've lit it on fire, and your job is to go in there. There's a dummy on the floor, in the middle of the floor. Your job is to go in, retrieve the dummy, and pull him out, right? This is a drill. It's what they call a fire maze. It's going to be really hard to see. You've been prepared. We've been training you for this all along. Remember, the job of one person is to keep at least one hand on the wall at all times so that you can maintain your bearings, and the job of the other person is to maintain holding on to that person while they search for the dummy. Okay, it's a 2-man job. Great. Here you go. Here's all your gear. You're loaded up, right? You have 10 minutes worth of oxygen in your tank. The bell will go off 2 minutes before your oxygen is going to run out, so that you'll still have 2 minutes, plenty of time to come out, even if you don't find the dummy. All right, they go in. They're looking for the dummy, can't find it. Beep, beep, beep. The beep goes off. 2 minutes left in the oxygen tank. Wait, why is that going off? It's only been 5 minutes. It couldn't possibly have been 10 minutes yet. You start to panic. Like, wait, we don't have enough oxygen. We got to get out of here. You let go of your person. He lets go of the wall. You both are trying to find the door. You're scrambling. You can't find it. You're lost. You're in this maze. It's basically, they set up like basically a maze. They have to come in. They rescue you. You're fine. They tell you, we do this every year. There's no dummy in the house. The only dummy in the house is you guys. There was no dummy, right? The whole point was to see if you could at least make it out without help, right? What you did is you panicked and you let go of your safety, of your security. And now, what did we learn, right? So don't let go of your social connections, even in a fire, even when you think you're about to die, even in a pandemic of coronavirus. Keep your social connections strong. Reach out to people. Ask them how they're doing. Billy said all his friends are dead. I find that really hard to believe. How old are you, Billy? Are you like 90 years old? Make some new friends. Like, dude, there's plenty of people that you can talk to. What about people that you went to high school with? What about your neighbors? Like, just text them, call them, do a FaceTime call with them. Get on a dating app. Bumble has like Bumble BFF where you can meet people just for friends. Like I said, Meetup. There's so many places to do this. It's really important. Cuckoo. All right. So let's review the 7 principles of the happiness advantage. 1 is the happiness advantage itself, how much being happy and positive benefits your entire life. 2 is the fulcrum and the lever, trying to move that fulcrum to the end of the lever so that you can leverage your positivity as much as possible, and that's done through mindset changes. 3 is the Tetris effect, realizing that the more you do something, the stronger that part of your brain becomes. So take time to write down at least one good thing that happens to you every single day, or one thing to be grateful for, or one nice thing that you can say to somebody else. 4, fall up. We're going to have setbacks. We're going to have failures. We're going to have obstacles. How can it make us stronger? What can we learn? What is the meaning here? How can we be stronger after the crisis than we were before? Post-traumatic growth instead of post-traumatic stress. 5, the Zorro effect, or the circle of control. What do we have control over? How can we just take this little bit and maximize our control? Then we can expand the circle and become masters and become even better. So even if it's cleaning one little circle of your desk and then protecting that circle with your life, don't let it get cluttered again, and that's an example of cleaning, but there's a lot of different ways. You can't sprint your way to a marathon. You have to have some delayed gratification. You have to realize that little by little, you'll become better and better and better. Principle 6, the 20-second rule. If it takes you 20 extra seconds to do something, you're going to be a lot less likely to do it, which is why fast food and junk food are prepackaged processed food is so appealing, because it doesn't take a whole lot of preparation time. So make your bad habits take longer. So like like I said, take the batteries out of the remote, put them in your bedroom, put the junk food in like 15 boxes and packages and tie the bags up really tight and make it just a pain in the neck to even get to them, or don't have them in the house at all, because then you have to actually go to the store and get them, and make the healthy foods, the healthy choices, the treadmill, everything really close and easy. Sleep in your gym close, okay? And then finally, social investment, realizing that the most important thing in your life for your longevity, for living long, and for being happy, and for being resilient to pain and resistant to pain is having at least one really strong social connection, a best friend. It doesn't have to be a romantic partner. It doesn't have to be somebody that you live with. Someone who you have their back and they have yours. So those are, I'm not calling you a loser, let's go like this. Those are the 7 principles of the happiness advantage. This has been a book review and summary of The Happiness Advantage by Shawn Achor. He also has a great TED Talk, which I recommend you check out as well. I have tweeted it out before, so you can find it in my tweets. You can also find it on TED.com. Just search his name. You'll find it really easily. Highly recommend this book. Probably a 5-star book. I will be putting my review up on Goodreads. eventually. And I'll also be sending out my email, which I send out every 4 months. 3 times a year you can get an email from me. It's totally free, and it has a summary and review of all the books that I've read over those 4 months. It's totally free. Like I said, sign up for it at the link in my profile. Big shout out and thank you to everyone that makes this channel possible. How much does this book cost? I don't know. You could probably get it at your library once it's open again. Okay, I'm not going to read all these negative comments. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate that. Love you, my intern that never shows up for work. This has been A Moment in Time with Taylor. I hope to see you guys on the next juice, and our next book up is Mindset by Carol Dweck, so stay tuned for that, and I'll be live later. I was live for almost 2 hours now, so I'll be live for about an hour and 15 minutes later today. Hope to see you there on the next juice. What are you grateful for today?